Clipping in Saturday the 17th of June. I'm presently between Honley and Holme Firth, which means it's a Pennine ride, and more specifically I'm heading to Holme Moss. We've had hot weather all week, temperatures touching the 80s, maybe even a little over at times, and yeah, it's kind of attritional when you're having it day after day. And after the pasting that I took last week, I thought I'll scatter my rides a little bit, do some shorter ones, spread them out a little. I did some nice mountain biking yesterday. Today I think the ride will be about 55 to 60 miles, and then see what I get in tomorrow before the thunderstorms appear. Heading for Holme Bridge. I always find that on this side of the Moss, I think the hardest single section is the steep part past the club at Holme Bridge. Goodness me, shock to the system. You can just see disappearing behind the canopy the mast of Holme Moss, and the high sort of ridge escarpment there. That's the big flat top of Holme Moss. I've got a little bit of respite now, and then it's going to kick up to Holme Village. Can't really see the big pull where I've come from, but I'm not pushing it too hard today. Nice low gears, take my time. It's not so far, it's not as hot as it was last week. Hooray. Well, there it winds its way up. You can see a good view there of the road as a car descending. Not sure how much of that I'll be able to film. Probably not a lot. Be clinging to the bars and wondering why I picked this route. Here we go. Now there's a view for you. Nearly at the top, final quarter mile. If I didn't have the camera, I'd change up a gear, honest. So I'm just taking a little stop now. I'm on a mile or so from Dunford Bridge. You can see the cars there on the Woodhead. It wasn't as busy as it is midweek, but it wasn't as quiet as it is on a Sunday. So not exactly filming country. But it's back lanes now for quite a while. It'll take me over towards Denby Dale, and yeah, I think it's been a good ride, and I wanted to do this for a reason. I mean, tomorrow, June the 18th, Sunday, is Father's Day in the UK, and Holme Moss was one of my dad's all-time favourite hills climbs from the 50s. And he always used to sort of rave about Holme Moss. And I remember when there was a professional race called the Leeds Classic that took in a big loop and went over Holme Moss, and it glued to the TV. He wore out the VHS tapes, and he wasn't cycling in those days, but you could see there was still that little enthusiasm there. And in '96 I finally coaxed him onto a racing bike for the first time in about 37 years. He says, "Ooh, I'm not sure about this." 5-10 minutes later, there he was on the tops, riding away as if he'd never been off it. So yeah, it's nearly 6 years now since I lost him, and lots of times when I'm out on these rides in this kind of countryside, that connection's still there. So yeah, for Father's Day, raise a bottle to the old lad. Wave goodbye to Holme Moss. And now we're heading towards Sisset and Denby Dale. "44 miles ridden. I'm heading from Horbury up towards Thornhill. I've probably not captured it on camera. The fields to my left, got so many wild poppies. Amazing sight. Just a couple of miles to go now. I think this ride's going to be somewhere between 54 and 55 miles. And yeah, I've certainly enjoyed it. The weather has been cooler today. I would guess might be hitting 19 or 20 now at about 11:30. Much more comfortable for me to cycling. And going up the moss, a little tribute there, I enjoyed that too. So for this episode of Clipping In, it's goodbye, and see you again for another one before too long. Bye bye.